Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to HIMediaTV. I am your host of HIMediaTV, and welcome back to High Media Headlines for today, November the 4th, 2025. We got a good show for you today. Let's get started. So, yes, you heard right. That title is correct. This is going to be some deep cut stuff for those in my audience that aren't necessarily like either a fan or don't necessarily follow my political takes. I'll try and keep this brief just so we can kind of understand. So in the photo, if I remember their names correctly, it was Anis and Rapai. You see their hands in the thumbnail, right? This is the photo in question. This was for their anniversary. It looks normal, like a normal piece of fan art. Very cute. Hips for days. Mazel tov. Unfortunately, a lot of Korean gamers and players view it as a form of crypto misandry. Misandry, for those who don't know the word, is basically the word for misogyny, but for against men. It's called misandry. It's basically like the word for sexism against men. Now, you must be wondering how? Well, basically, back a couple years ago, there was a point where some online men in Korea deluded themselves into thinking, like, how like when you take your index finger and your thumb and together to like dictate like oh, it's about like this big, like that, and you put them together like that, to dictate, oh, it's like about that big, they in Korean online gamer men have taken to seeing that hand gesture as misandristic, and it is saying that they're saying you have a small penis. Yeah. And so these men will look at every single photo with a woman in advertisement and look at their hands, and multiple companies, including companies that are just camping equipment companies who have posted like cute little anime girl advertisements and stuff, all of which have just had waves of abuse thrown at them. And I'm just gonna say, hit dogs holler. Listen, if you are that triggered by the perception of somebody doing that with their hands, I'm just saying, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Now to bring it back, I want you guys to take a look at this thumbnail. I want you to take a look at these ladies' hands. Does that in any capacity look like that? Yeah. So the developers have been getting abuse thrown at them in an insane amount, and the PR reps at the company have been basically like, no, it's not. We would never do that. We would never insulted a. For those who are just unaware, like the men in South Korea are not okay. They're not okay. Even if you are somebody who very much an American who very much takes a very different optical perspective on feminism than I do, like, let's be real. Even if you do think that, like, men are under attack in this country and all that stuff, there gets to be a certain point where both of us have to agree, where you look at some shit like this and you're just like, man the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, this is just some soy boy shit. They're sending these poor people death threats, and it is baffling to me that this is the hill they want to die on. I want to remind everybody that they almost had a, they were this close to having like a dictatorship like 6 to 8 months ago. Just saying. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this episode of High Media Headlines for today, November the 4th, 2025. We appreciate your time and your listenership. We have a ton of other podcasts that you're going to like. Just search HIMediaTV wherever you get your pods. Look for the border. Look for the HIMediaTV border and on the thumbnail, and watch tons of episodes. We've got a lot of great shit. And listen to the ads. I get paid for them. And if you want to hang out further or tell me exactly how wrong or right I was in this episode, join our Discord. I'd love to have you. It's a good community. Regardless, ladies and gentlemen, this has been High Media TV. I have been your host, Evan from High Media TV, and I will see you guys next time.